And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. She was going to show. Ziggy, are you Zoom user? Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
Ravien, it's so good to see you. Sorry that we couldn't make it tonight for the Shalom party. But in Mitzvah to have everything at the right time, as we always say here in the Shiva School show. And now it seems like it is high time for wartime ZoomShteig 203. Reish Gimel for Gar. Like we live in Israel. We live Wow. And it's also for Rag.
I see you got another Airbnb with the base medrash. Very good. I'm happy for you.
Oh, Riviere. It's the greatest Airbnb possible. But listen, we don't know how long we're gonna be Zocha. And so while we're here, I've been trying to see some of the farm that I can't like schlep around with me. And so we'll see what we're gonna see today. We are learning in the schus of the soldiers, in the schus of the captain. Now today, Israel killed two high up the terrorists. Netanyahu calls them the three Chets, right? Hezbollah, Houthim, and Hamas. And Zalman just showed me that, like, we were talking, like, yo, like, they should have let it happen in the first place. Zalman showed me that he saw, like, Iran's response already planned, like, a month ago. I don't know exactly. Basically,
yeah, I mentioned it to you, to Schlegs, to Craig.
Listen, now they're saying, and I don't want to take too much time from Shir, but now they're saying, like, yo, like, Sahal, like, look how great they did. That they were able to kill, like, these two, like, terrorists. But where were they on October 7th? That's the question that we have been asking in these wartime ZoomSteigs for 203 Shir already, 202. We've been asking the questions and just asking questions.
Another question is what's one chas plus one chas?
Two chas. Okay. No, it's a great joke.
Of a child.
I knew the answer. I was like, two chas. Just pick one. It's a good one. One chas plus two chas is chas b'chalila that chas b'chalila that the Shimach should have any more Shilton. Okay. So the best way to fight the Shibud, says the Gra in the Perush on Baba Basra. The wave. Remember we learned the wave that's coming to sink the ship? And so what do? You hit it with the stick, as Rabbi Nachman says also. I think it's Rabbi Nachman's pshat actually. That we didn't see the Rabbi Nachman. Okay, whatever. But that you hit it with the stick that has all the names of Hashem on it, and that's the Torah. You hit the Yitzhahar with the Torah, and that works for the Yitzhahar, and that works for the Satan Milpan inside and the Satan outside. Okay. Yitzhahar, Satan. And Malcham Aves. Zok Nehel Gemara. Sorry for that introduction. I'm saying sorry to myself when I watch this video, and I'm like, yo, when is this year going to start? You know? Okay. Itmar. Itmar. So we're at New Gema. We saw the last sugya, we saw a few pshatim. We got down to the Mishnah, to the Shulchan Aruch. Obviously not Mishnah Brura, because Mishnah Brura is only in Aruch Chaim. We're learning Hilchot Yoreh De'ah, and we don't have Aruch Shulchan yet. Itmar was stated, Shtei Yamim Tovim Shel Galios. So the two yantivs of Galus.
Nothing like a good Itmar.
I knew you were gonna like the Itmar. Itmar. So two Yom Tovs of Galus. Rav says that Noda Bezemu Teres Bezeh. Rav says that if it's born on the first day of Yantif in Chutz La'aretz, it's mutter in the second. Rav Azi says, no the bezeh, asura bezeh. That if it's born on one, it's asur on the other one. And that, that is the machlekes where Rav goes lakula. Rav is saying a more makel thing. He's saying you can eat the egg. Razi says you cannot. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. That's all. I wanted to say a pshat. Today is very distracted day. I don't know why, but I want to say a pshat in that song. So, like, in Shiva's Gula Shal, I was like always like telling people, like, yo, like, you know, like there was a kid who wanted to come to yeshiva, and I said, "Who's the best rapper?" And he said Drake, and I was like, "Bro, like, not gonna happen." You know, and we had to like talk, so they realized that Eminem is the best rapper. Okay, or that, so they realized whatever. I don't know. We don't force people what to believe, but you know. So we were against Drake when everyone was obsessed with Drake. But what if that song "They Not Like Us" is not just about Drake or about possibly Canadians or about possibly like who's they, like the Satanist pedophiles? But what if Kendrick was saying "They Not Like Us"? Like the Yidden aren't like us, you know, and they not like us. Who's they? Right? It's this track on Drake, not on. So who's they? And so we're thinking that it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like we're kind of like da 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 Vatovu Olach Yankov da 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 Mishkanei Secha Yisrael, like Bilam style, you know, like it's his diss track. But Bilam wasn't allowed. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe listen, I was against Drake before anyone was against Drake, so I shouldn't. What am I gonna do now? Being on like Drake's side, am I gonna have to take Drake's side? But Rahman al-Islam, that we're starting so late. Yisrael Yahusha Aleichem, just in time. Just in time to hear this is machloka. So it was stated, 2 Yantiv of Galus. Rav says, born on this one is mutter on the next one. And Rav Azzi says, it's born on this one, it's asura on the next one. Now we know that in Israel, we only keep one day of Yantiv.
Amen.
This year, sponsored by Tati and Sons and Super Chill Shabbos and MS Me'eretz Titzmach, new Yeshiva School Show mission, and it's very late, very beginning, early inception, where we're basically gonna teach kids how to grow fruit. This is Zalman's idea. We're gonna teach kids how to grow fruit, and like we say, we'll call it maybe Eretz MS Eretz Yitzmach. Truth will come from the land, and we'll steig. And because really, the government is not teaching us how to survive; it's teaching us nonsense propaganda. It doesn't teach us how to grow a vegetable.
It's actually not a new idea. That's the way it used to be. We're just bringing it back full force, you know.
Amen. So if the egg was born on one day of the Gullus in Yantiv, one day of the Yantiv in Gullus, so it's mutter on the second day, says Rav. And Rav Azi says if it's born on this one, it's under the next one. Lema kastaba Rav Azi kedusha achasi. So say that Rav Azi says kedusha achasi. Rebbe said, I don't want. You want to take a walk with me? We're going to get that Rambam outside because I saw a Rambam in Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh. Here, I saw a Rambam in Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh. It's by the outside in the back. I saw a Rambam in Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh. Okay, thanks. So it's the Rambam. It's the one book of the Rambam in one book, and so I saw it in Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh today. And he went into this idea of Kedusha Achas versus Shtei Kedushon. And we saw that the Nafkamina was for Erev. So think maybe Rav Azi holds that it's all Kedusha Achas. But didn't we say in the name of the four, right? In the name of Arba Zikanim, in the name of four elders, didn't we say that it's Shtei Kedushos? Maybe Rav Azi holds it's one Kedusha. Maybe Rav Azi holds that it's one Kedusha. And since one Kedusha, if it's born on the first day, you couldn't eat it on the second day. The Rav Azi mavdil miyoma tava lechavrei. But doesn't Rav Azi, isn't he the guy who makes havdalah between Yantif to his friend? Maybe I should have went. Oh wait. Oh, Shkayach, the perfect book. Okay. Good Zrizas, Rebbetzin. Yeah. Okay, so this is the rock. Oh, still make sure it doesn't get on the books. Just on my glasses. Do. All right. So, what did I open it up to? Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh? I wish. Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh found it. Okay. So in the Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh in the Rambam, he talks about the difference between, right, Bnei Eretz Yisrael in Zman Hazeh, they do one day of Yantif. But he talks about, but the difference between Rosh Hashanah, and I wish my dad was here to hear this, but it's okay, because I was talking with him. But the reason that, even though Rosh Hashanah was also because of a suffix, they made it 2 days, but they would keep it because since it was on the first day of Tishrei, they weren't sure if the last day of Elul was going to be Kodesh or not. Maybe the Eidim are going to come today. We're going to keep it Kodesh. We're going to be Choshesh to keep it Kodesh. Even in the time when they had the base of Mikdash, even in the time when they didn't have the base of Mikdash, they were still being Mekadesh Al Pi Hariyah. They were being doing Kiddush and Chodesh according to the site, which lasted, according to the Rambam, Ad Yemei Abaye v'Rabba, until the days of Abaye v'Rabba. They were still doing Kiddush and Chodesh Bariyah, but still they were Machmir on Rosh Hashanah. So that became, they would know again, Hayom Kodesh U'Machar Kodesh. Today is the first day of Rosh Hashanah and the second day of Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, since they were keeping it 2 days, even while they were still doing Kiddush HaChodesh by the site, they were sanctifying the new month. His kinu, they established Shiyu Osin Afilu B'nei Yisrael Oso Tamid Shnei Yamim. It became that's the minhag forever, even in Eretz Yisrael. And so that could be why Rosh Hashanah has a different din than the other holidays. Because they're always keeping it 2 days from a suffix, even in the time of the Beis HaMikdash. Okay. So, but wait a second. So you're telling me that the reason that Rav Asi says that an egg that's born on the first day of Yantif in Galus is usher on the second day of Yantif in Galus, because he holds that it's all 1 day, just like we're saying by Rosh Hashanah that it's like one long day, and so an egg born on the first day you can't eat on the second day. Is that what we're gonna think that Rav Ashi holds about Yantif Sheni and Galus, the 2 Yantifs in Galus? Is that what Rav Ashi is gonna hold? V'ha Rav Ashi, but doesn't Rav Ashi, we have a good Shas over here. Check out the Ritva and Sukkah Mem Zayin. Yeah, okay. Should be Zayin. V'ha Rav Asi mavdil miyom tova lechavrei. You know how much Rav Asi didn't think that it was the same, that it was one Kedusha, one long day with the two Yantivs in Chutz La'aretz? He would make Havdalah between the first Yantiv and the second Yantiv. Rav Asi is a muka misafkalei v'avid hachi l'chomra. So we're saying, no, really he held that it was one day. He just wasn't sure, so he's being machmir. And he did Havdalah just in case. V'hacha l'chomra. Wait, is that a question? Oh, so he was machmir both ways, right? He was machmir by the egg. Maybe it's like one day, and so I'm not going to eat an egg born on the first day, on the second day. And he was machmir. He was stringent by that I'm going to make havdalah. Maybe it's 2 different days, so I'll make havdalah. I'll separate between the days, implying that it's 2 different kedushos. He says he wasn't sure. He was misafgalei. So he was machmir on both. Amar Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Zera says kavase to Rav Asi mistabra. He says, according to Rav Asi, that actually makes sense. Teha'idna, that nowadays yadinon b'kavia diyircha. Nowadays, that we know about the kavia diyircha, we know about the establishment of the month, aka we know about the cheshbon of like how we establish the months. We know how to calculate it. We don't need the re'iyah anymore. Because of dinan treyomi, and we still do 2 days. Wait, who? Who said this? Rabbi Zera said this. Rabbi Zera was Babylonian who came and moved to Israel. And when he got here, he sat 50 fasts, I think, just so he would forget the Torah he learned in America. The disgusting sheker Torah that he learned in Bavel. I mean, and Chat V'Shalom, by the way, it's still beautiful Torah, but it is interesting, right? Why do you have to do that? So we're not learning that sugya. Why did Rabbi Zera have to move to Israel and then fast that he should forget his Torah of Chutz La'aretz, so it shouldn't like prevent him from learning his Torah in Eretz Israel? Why do you have to do that? Very interesting. But we're not learning that sugya. Just because it came up with Rabbi Zera, maybe I'll bring it. Maybe I'll send it to the yeshiva group.
When I come to Israel, I'm going to do the same thing.
Okay, but the opposite. Bismanas, that's the opposite. Let's just pig out. Let's eat and party and celebrate the Geula. When DVJ comes to Israel, Geula. Straight up.
Steigen da.
Steigen da. Everything at the right time. Okay. So, he says like this. He was machmir both ways. Rabbi Zera, but when you move to Israel, maybe, but we don't want to forget the Torah we learned. But this Torah doesn't count. DVJ, don't forget the Torah that you learned here, because since at least we have one yid in Israel in the shir, especially me, I'm giving the shir and I'm here, so it counts as Torah of Eretz Yisrael.
From Shkaya, from the Rosh Hashiva Shlita, of course not.
Shkaya,
not even a Havamina.
You can sit at Tainas to hope that you forget like the way the Torah maybe was taught to us a little bit growing up in these schools, That's probably the shot. Rabbi Zera's like, I gotta get out of here. What these rabbis, even Babylonians, child sacrificing. But again, it's the Torah he learned there, so it's so difficult, and we don't even see that inside. So how dare I spend any more time in shir analyzing that? Amar Rabbi Zera, it makes sense according to Rav Asi. So why did I spend so much time on Rabbi Zera? Because it's important to know that he was Babylonian, and Rav Asi we also know is Babylonian, but Rabbi Zera was in Israel. We call him Revi Zera. But it says nowadays we keep the kaviyah we have like the kaviyah, and we do it 2 days. So is he talking about in Eretz Yisrael, or is he talking about in Babylon? Is he saying, I remember my They're still doing 2 days back in Bavel. Amar Abaye, Kavasei the Rav Sabra. Abaye says, listen, Rabbi Zera. So wait a second. Abaye was definitely in Bavel, right? And by the way, what did the Rambam say? He said that they were doing the Kaviyah until the day of Abaye and Rava, right?
Okay.
And so that was Abaye. And Abaye says it seems like Rav, the start with the Tanan, because the Tanan, it says in Mishnah, very good. Very shayna hayameisim misoyos. So at the beginning, they would do torches. Mizekilkilu akusim, when the kusim, by the way, very interesting, the chutim is one of like the enemies of Israel nowadays. I mean, the enemies of the secular Zionist state, and probably enemies of all the Jewish people. See, and I mean, I don't know about the chusim, but the kusim are different than the chusim, the chut type. I don't know. I just watched this thing of Netanyahu hearing about how it may be priming us that like chas v'shalom shalom nei dot 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 dot. Like preparing, grooming the public. He's like, oh, blah blah blah. Hard months ahead. Like Biden's like, oh, about to be a dark winter with this corona. Like, yeah. They always tell us what they're going to do. It's very likely Netanyahu knew about October 7th, and so if he knows about another thing that's going to happen, so then they have to tell us it. And just like in the Paris, in the opening Olympics, they showed a Statue of Liberty that was like destroyed. And we're saying predictive programming. But let's keep our eyes open. Okay.
I have a thought about,
Yeah,
you said,
please.
forget the Torah you learned elsewhere. I don't think that's possible, first of all. Second of all, I think when you come to Eretz Yisrael and you do Hazera, it has such another depth to it that it's like New Torah.
Oh. You're saying like this, that it wasn't that he forgot that he would forget his Torah. Why would he want to forget his Torah? The fast, the intention was that I shouldn't be stuck in the Torah of Chutz La'aretz. I should be able to do Chazara on the Torah. I learned the Chazara to understand completely new meanings. That like now it's like, oh, that Torah, that there was the levels of Torah and understanding I was able to get in Chutz La'aretz. It's basically forgotten in compared to the new vistas that I was able to reach with the Kedusha and the Avira and the air of Israel, which wisens a person.
We're building right on top of it.
It is possible.
Amazing. And what?
It's possible.
And the Rebbe says it is possible to forget Torah.
You become proud, and then the wisdom flees from you.
So the Rebbe says that if a person becomes haughty or arrogant, it actually is possible to forget Torah. But that was not Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Zera was trying to forget it. So Zalman is saying, what does he mean he's trying to forget? No, he wasn't trying to forget it, but he was doing Chazara in Israel, and he was hoping that he was able to be able to acquire the level of Torah that is only really the highest levels of Torah that you can get is only in Eretz Yisrael. There's one exception: if the Yid's in Los Angeles but learning Torah with the Yid in Eretz Yisrael, and if the Yid's in somewhere in South America and he's learning Torah with Chevra and Eretz Yisrael, so he's learning mamish the Torah of Eretz Yisrael. Gewalt. Shkayach Zalman. That's a great nikuda. So he says, like it makes sense with Rav, because it says at the beginning they were bringing the torches. Mishikagulu akusim, when the kusim were miskak. Okay, so who are the kusim? The kusim were, I think, people who converted to Yiddishkeit, but their conversion was never really. Kusim could also be Ethiopians. No, that's Kushim. Kusim, yeah, but the tough in the shin in Aramaic. It could be that the Kusim are from Eretz Kush. Now we know what, like we know that like the Ethiopians like maybe are a lost tribe. Oh, we need Harry to explain us what to like enlighten us a little bit on the sugya, but everything at the right thing, at the right time. The schus of the Torah, the yeshiva should be brought together, and the family should be brought together, and Yisrael should be brought together, and humanity should be brought together in the uprooting of the idolaters and the Satan worshippers and the globalists from our midst. So we make it so at the beginning, they were making torches. They were lifting up torches, showing the torch, oh, next torch, and telling people that the witnesses have come. And this is a new month. So these kusim, these Kuthites, whatever the series maybe Rashi was saying. But they started like messing it up. They started like tricking and like lifting up the like their own things just to like confuse us and knock us off. So is Kidushiyu who shluchim yotzin. There should be messengers going to each different parts saying like, yo, by the way, and then he would be coughing, it would run. Yeah. Yipers. Ve'ilu badlu kusim avdinan charyoma. So if the kusim were like canceled, then they would do it back to one day. Vehecha dematu shluchin avdinan charyoma. Oh, really? Wherever the shluchim get to, the messengers get to, they make it one day. V'hashde diadana. Oh, vehecha dematu shluchim avdinan charyoma. And where the shluchim can get to, they would make one day. Behajda, and now the adinam mekaviyas yercha. We know about mekaviyah diyircha. We know about the like kaviyah, like to like pinpoint the moon, and we know like what it does and like how many days and stuff. My time of Dinan Chayomi. Why do we do 2 yantivs in Chutz La'aretz if we already know it? The sholchu mitam. What's mitam? It's an Aramaic word. What would it be in Hebrew?
Coming.
Mitam would be from Taf and Shen.
Oh, Michelle.
Ah, Misham. What?
Oh, I thought mitam is like from taste.
No. It's a tough man. It's Misham. You send from there, but I hear you. That's good. It's good. It's a homonym. It's good. I don't want to do the 666 symbol. The Washington monument dimensions of 666. Obviously, obliterating consciousness and obfuscating politics. Of course, I didn't vote. Absquatulate the psyopses. All right. So why do we do it? Says the Gemara, and this is the topic of here today. And maybe even we'll talk about it tomorrow. It's such a big sugya that I can't wait to sink our teeth into. Answers the Gemara, why? If we know that there's no reason to do 2 days anymore. It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason we should do 2 days. The Chorah. We have the setup. Why do we do it? Hizaru. They sent from there. From where? Hizaru. Rivka, what's Hizaru?
Like Zahir, like warning,
Like be careful.
Caution.
Zahira is careful, right? Like we saw in the Sirah Shah. Hizaru b'minhag avosechem b'yadechem. Be careful with the minhag, with the minhag, the what? Custom. Good translation. I like it. I'll use it. With the custom of your forefathers, of your fathers in your hands. Wow, this is actually unreal. This is actually unreal. Be careful with the minhag. Be careful with the minhag of your forefathers. We're wearing a kippah, Baruch Hashem. Be careful with the minhag of your forefathers. By the way, minhag, the kippah might not be minhag of our forefathers, maybe minhag of Pope. But I think that, a lot of Heilige Yidden wear kippah, so we have a lot of Heilige Yidden also Meraglim. Why should we be so careful with the minhag of our forefathers? What's so important about sticking to the minhag of our forefathers? Zimnin, the Gazra Malchus. Sometimes the Shibur Malchias is going to come and make a gezerah. They'll come and they'll mess it up. Remember, Torah says very clearly the earth is flat with a rakia above it. Gemara says very clearly, except for when it's talking about the Shita, the opinion of the Greeks, that the earth is flat and there is a rakia. And then we're like, well, the Malka, the Sheba, they put out this globe nonsense, and so people get confused. Stay with the minhag of our forefathers. Now it's time to see Rashi. So Dad! Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem. Okay, so we just saw, really when I was asking this question that the Gemara asked, I'm like, my dad asked me this question every Chag. Except if he's, most Chag.
And you say Rashi and your dad appears. I like that.
Oh, well, say.
12 men.
12 minutes, perfect. So the Gemara says that we're going to be working on this sugya also tomorrow, Dad. It says, now that we know that we know exactly which day, we don't do it with the Re'iyah, we don't do Kiddush HaChodesh with the Re'iyah anymore. Now that we know exactly which day Yantif is, so then why do we still do 2 days? So the Gemara says, Sholchu mitam, they sent from there. Mishum sholchu mitam, they sent from there. Hizaru b'minhag avosechem b'yadechem. Be careful with the minhag of your forefathers in your hand. Zimnin, there are times. So, Dad, what is the reason for second day Yantif? That we always talk about second day Yantif. We always keep on talking about it. My dad's asked me since I'm a kid. Second day Yantif and Kitnios. These are my father, my teacher, Avi Mairi. These are like the 2 things that we'd always talk about. We would always dot in these halachas every Pesach for Zocha. To be dotting in like these beautiful halachas, right? Be careful with the minhag of your, right? So why do you do it? Be careful with the minhag of your father in your hands. So it's amazing. I say Avosechem, and then my actual father comes to share. Beautiful. Zivnin, there are times the Gazru HaMalchus Gezerah. Sometimes the Malchus will make a Gezerah, right? The Malchus HaRasha, that we daven for their falling 3 times a day. Shmona Esrei. We say, right? Malchus HaRish'ah Karega Yoved. Right? Don't we say that in davening? Malchus Harisha Karega Yovei. People are like, what's this Malchus Harisha? But in Shiva's Gula we've known for 4 years that this is the Roman Empire. Malchus Harisha. Who made davening? It was that Anshe Knesset Agadola was Chazal. Who was Chazal living under? It was Bayeshteni, and then it was the Bayeshteni being destroyed by the Romans. It was the Greeks and the Romans. It was the globalists. Be careful with the minhag of Moshe Rabbeinu, because sometimes the Sheba, the Malchus can make Gezerah and mess us up. And so we got to see Rashi. I know DVJ saying share ending so soon. We got to see Rashi. It's a good thing we didn't see so much Gemara here. We're going to go quickly over the Gemaras. We can do a little chazal for my Helig Gatati with the Rashi. Itmar was stated, Shteyamim Taivim of Galuyos. Okay, so it says Rashi, She'ein Osin Oso Ella B'nei Galuyos Harachokim. Only the far Galuyos that are far from Basin, right? The Shluchim Yichol Nagia Etzlam. The Shluchim can get to them. Mirosh Chodesh Ad Yantiv. They couldn't get there from Rosh Chodesh until like Yantif to tell them like, you guys, Kiddush Chodesh. Lo Diam Be'ezi Yom Nikbah Chodesh. Tell them, oh, it was set up like a few days ago, right? Im B'Yom Shlishi, right? It says Im B'Yom Shloshim. It was the 30th day. Oh Shloshim. Oh B'Yom Shloshim Echa 31st day. Oh Zim Beis Yamim Yodom Misafek. So in those places where the shliach can't get to them, they make that yantif from stuffing. U'mideoraisa b'deoraisa b'Yom Harishon Shabbaton. Satan pasuk on the first day B'Yom Hashvi'i Shabbaton v'Sulo. It's the first day of Pesach and the 7th day of Pesach. First day of Sukkot and the 8th day of Sukkot. So if an egg is born on one, it says Rav, it's Muteris on the other one. One of them is weekday, and so either way you look at it, Manav Shach, it's permissible. But Rav Azi says it's born on this is other of the other one. We say, wait, maybe Lema Kastava Rav Azi Kedusha Achazi, maybe Rav Azi holds there's just one Kedusha. Chachamim Kav'um al B'nei Gola la'asaistam Lidoros. Wait, yeah. That Chachamim made the kavu. They said that the Bnei Gola, the Chutzlar had to make it for generations. Machmas stuff exact ve'hitilum aleim gechomer yom aruch. So they gave him the chumrah that it's a long day, like what we say by Rosh Hashanah. The Rav Asi Mavdil I, but doesn't Rav Asi? You're telling me that Rav Asi holds that even two yantivs and gullahs is Yom HaRuchne, the long day? But doesn't he make Havdalah between each day? Umevarich Hamavdu Mekodesh L'chol. The Kasavar Kimlan B'Kiviyah. Right, nowadays, the B'Kiviyah the Yercha. We know the Cheshbon. We know which day is Chol, which day is Shabbos. And Yom Tov Sheni is Chol Gamor. He holds that it's completely Chol. Our forefathers didn't know, right? The minhag kamonu, and they did it from a suffix. So we're doing it, but he knows that it's chol, and so he made Havdalah. So wait, does he hold kedusha achas or shtei kedusha? He wasn't sure. Even chol chachamim hu shehuta al galios nedoros. So if it was like a chok of the chachamim, I never heard anyone say that phrase before. Rashi says a chok of the chachamim, like a law with no purpose. I don't know, maybe it's just a law from the wise, the elders, the chachamim, chazal, who shehuta al galios the doros. He put it on the galios forever. So even if the chachamim, there was a lot of people who knew how to like tell time or tell months and stuff. Yihu ozin osam shnai ozin shanim imkein arehu midivrei sofrim kiyom aruch. So he thought, is it from there right so that it's one day, one long day, the 2 days of God? Oh, or imay ozme eleim misabek. So it wasn't that the rabbis made it mamish that it was a one long day. The Yidden were just doing it because they weren't sure. The Chad Minay Chol, one of them is Mamish Chol. Luman the Kim Living Kaviyat the Yercha by Abdullah, the one who actually knows which day is Kodesh, which day is Chol. He thought guys to make Avdallah. So first we had Rabbi Zera who says it stims like Rav Asi, Mistabra, that makes it Usher. He says because we have Kimlan B'Kaviyat the Yercha. We know about the Cheshbon, right? The Cheshbon. I said the word Cheshbon, and I didn't see the Rashi until just now. The Cheshbon, maybe we saw it. Shem Cheshbon Toladasa. We figure out when it's gonna happen. Unlimited. We're going to know if there's going to be 30 days in this month. I only have a few more Rashis. Michael Pollard. Okay. Avdinan Treyomi. Kavasei the Rav Mistabra. Abaye says, and Dad, I just gotta tell you this real quick in the Rambam Parakeh and Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh, Halacha Gimel, the Rambam says that in the time of the Kaviyas Eretz Yisrael, so he says V'chein b'yimei Chachmei HaTalmud, they would do Kiddush HaChodesh al pi Re'iyah ad yimei Abaye v'Rava, until the day Abaye and Rava. And it says, how does the Rambam know that? But right here it says Abaye says it's Kavasei the Rav is Mistabra. It seems like Rav that it should be born on this day of Yandiv and mutter on the next day of Yandiv in Galios. Tanah, because it says in the Mishnah, Barishona at the beginning. This is the Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah Daf Chametz Amez. Barishona, you may see in Mistuos, they were holding up torches. Mishikagu Akusim, the Kutites. So this is Barishona. At the beginning, it says Rashi, Kodim Shekilkulu Akusim. Before the Kusim, they see you hey Masaos Biyom Shalom Kibubo. They would just put up torches, right? Hachodah, right? To confuse Am Yisrael. They see him as known, Kamola, Lota, Masa, Ashdan, Minair. They pick up fire. Tivara, Rosh Hashanah, and a Rosh Hashanah, Parish, when Masechah, Rosh Hashanah, they explain them. Ubahen, how Yodin, Kobane, Golios, a Krobmer, Chogam, as Kivas, the Chodesh. Below Yodin, Ella, Yontiv, Echad, Bekol Makom. So it was very easy at that time to send it as far as you can send it, because it's very quickly you can send the flame, right? So you shluchim. So afterwards, but the kuzim came and they were confusing us, so we had to have messengers go. They can only get where they can get in 15 days. They're telling them, by the way, get a shachodesh. And so the people they can't get to make two yantivs. The ilu batlu akusim. If the kuzim were canceled, so was right. It says hadarim va'avdina bastos b'rosh harim that were messing us up with their fires on top of the harim. V'yadu hakol va'avdi chad yom. If we knew b'kol tochta in all places, in the navi, and now it does that. Where they could get the shluchim could get before Yantiv, we made it one day. We know we hear from here. Lo kavaum alehem b'takana ledoros. They didn't accept the takana alehem, takana ledoros, that it's always going to be like one day. And it was just like a chashash that they were doing the 2 days. We weren't sure. And so then why are they doing the 2 days if they know for sure what's the right day? But that we know about the cheshbon. My why do we do it 2 days? Because they sent from there. We're saying sent from where? Be careful with the minhag of your fathers in your hands. And we're going to see more of this again tomorrow. We have a few tasters that I want to see in other mesechtas. Sometimes the malchus can make gezerah, and it'll mess it up. Two more Rashis. The gazru malchus gezerah telo yid'asku b'tayra. Maybe the shibud would say everyone has to stay in their house. No one can go outside and teach. No one can go outside and learn, like they did in the days of Rabbi Akiva. 1 minute, perfect. Like they did in the days of Rabbi Akiva, and like they did in the days of the pandemic, where they said no one can learn. Made gezerah. and maybe people will forget the secret of the Ibor. Soda Ibor, they talk about that by Gilgal, right? But what it really means is the secret of Kiddush HaChodesh, of Michem. They will be forgetting it. V'te'avdu nami chad yoma, they'll do one day. But they get confused. But those chazer, male, chazer, they'll make a month that's supposed to have 31, have 30, and 30, have 31. And maybe they'll come and make and eat chametz on Pesach. And this is our beautiful shir of the day. Tomorrow we're going to learn more about the minhag of our forefathers.